up to the hype. She is a white, some more BG money, the easy man. Big up to the Caribbean girl.
Wow, 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 wow. I'm fired up this morning to be here with you guys. My name is Terry King, and I have the pleasure today to do the fixed index annuity training. And I love this. I know Amanda Reba probably did an amazing job with Anico right before me. But today I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit better for some of you that are brand new. I want to make sure so you understand how easy it really is to get started doing annuities. I'm going to break it down for you. I want you to know you can do this, okay? So I'm hoping there's a bunch of new people here. If there's not, go out and invite a bunch of people that are on your team. Let's get them on here. Take the time. I promise you it'll be worth it. I'm going to kind of break it down a little bit, kind of smaller bites at a time, and kind of show you guys some things and really increase your belief level why this is the best thing to do for the clients. And I think you're going to be excited about that. And again, I'm just a product of the system. 12 years ago when I saw this, I was willing to buy in, and I was willing to start going to the trainings, which was important. I remember, I did 35 years construction, and I still remember in San Jose when I first met Eric Olson and I came into the company. He told me, he said, if you want my training, he says, you need to be here 2 times a week. And I'm in Clovis, California. He's in San Jose, California. And I got to drive 3 hours one way to go get the training and work 70 hours a week. So I know some of you are busy, but when you have 8 offices and 500 employees, yeah, it's kind of overwhelming. I was the guy, we used, our company had randoms for everyone. And I remember when my randoms would come up and I'd be in the doctor's office and he going, you're not going to pass. He says, we're going to take your license away. Your blood pressure is through the roof. Why? I was busy. I had so much going on. I tried to explain. It was just nonstop in that environment. But yet I managed to get out of my comfort zone and go 3 hours one way twice a week to go get training. And some of you can't even get on a Zoom meeting and pay attention. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be real. I'm a construction guy. I might slip back into construction mode, okay? But I'm just trying to bring it to you guys so you guys really get it. If you guys really want to do this, you got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and go make it happen. And I promise you it will. I promise you it will. But you got to put the time in, all right? You'll learn it. I remember 12 years ago, I had no idea. Eric asked me, he goes, Terry, he goes, how well could you teach me a class on a 401k? I said, I don't know, maybe a 2. He started laughing. I said, I was lying. I had no idea how they worked. I really didn't. But I can tell you what, you put me out on the street with a crew, with these guys and these gals, and I'll tell you what, you can't compete with me out there. I had to learn how to start getting good in this industry. And just fortunately, I was around the right people to do it. And you guys are around the right people. You just got to find that right sphere of influence, okay? Just remember this. It's the largest wealth transfer in history happening right now. Okay, it started out at 65 or 64 trillion. Then it went to 84 trillion. Wall Street Journal just recently said that number is at 124 trillion with a T that's going to roll over in the next 5 to 8 years with or without you. That's crazy. 124 trillion. The numbers were from Wall Street Journal reported in 2024, there was 320 billion rolled over. 2025 was 560 billion rolled over. What's 2026 going to look like? Hey, just ask Chris Callaway. He's probably going to do 1 trillion himself. I'm telling you, this guy's on fire. In 6 weeks, he's already hit a $600,000 ring doing rollovers. Do you guys think you might be missing something that Chris knows what he's doing? My point here is, if they did 560 billion in 2025 and there's 124 trillion rolling over the next 5 to 8 years, what's going to happen in 2026? Is it going to be 2 trillion? And then 2027 is going to be 5 trillion? 2028, 10 trillion? 2029, 50 trillion? Do you think if you start learning this now, you might be able to capture just a little bit of that? I'll tell you, it'll change your life. It really will. So I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for jumping on. Invite. I promise you it'll be worth it. I'm going to go ahead, for sake of time, I'm going to start a PowerPoint, but I want to kind of go over a couple things before I start that. and I took some Claritin D. I'm in the Central Valley, so I got allergies here, which is drying me up pretty good. But I'm going to go over a couple things. One, even with a license, you don't have to be appointed with a company to be able to go ahead and do your CE training. You can go on your CE training, you do your anti-money laundering and you get all that done. You can do it right now. Brand new licensed agent, go on your CE training, get your 4-hour best interest suitability training out of the way for annuities. It's called your 4-hour best interest suitability training. It's super easy. Get it done. You can't do a rollover without having your 4-hour best interest suitability done. And I like Success CE personally. That's just me, because you pay a one-time fee, you get unlimited courses for the year. You pay, I don't know, $39.99, whatever it is. But you got to get it out of the way. You can do it without being appointed, just so you know. The other thing you want to do, even without being appointed with any of these companies on annuities, get your product-specific training done. You can either go to the company's site and you can ask for their product-specific training. Make sure you check with the EMD. You don't have to do all 12 products they have. Your EMD will tell you you only need to do these 2 or 3. Just go do the product-specific training. So write that down. Take notes. This is the class, in case you didn't know it. Fixed index annuity. If we weren't taking notes in Eric's office, I'm telling you, man, he'd let you hear it. Okay, you knew it. And if you were late for a meeting in Eric's office, you were doing push-ups on stage. I'm just telling you, there was some in the smaller rooms. But I just want you guys to know that treat this like a business. Even though you may be working 70 hours a week, that's going to be your part-time gig. Eventually, that became my part-time gig, and I knew this was going to be my full-time job. And it's not a full-time job, it's a full-time business, okay? And it is a full-time business, and you can schedule your time around whatever you need. But here's my point. 4-hour best interest suitability training, get it out of the way. You don't need to be appointed to do it. Product-specific training. You can go to Reg Ed as well, REGED. Go to Reg Ed. You can go to Reg Ed and take the product-specific training as well. But just make sure you check with your EMD. Make sure you check with them and identify what trainings you need for each companies. Now, some of the companies that I recommend you get done, which I think are important. 1, American Equity. You want to get American Equity's training done. Okay, get that done out of the way. It's one of the top companies we're using right now. Anaco's another one. Go ahead and get it done. Get it out of the way. North American Annuities. Take care of North American Annuities. Find out which ones you want to get your product-specific training done on. I would also do F&G. Get that done. There may be some other ones that your EMD may recommend, but I just want to recommend some of the ones you should get done right now. Get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. And that way, when you are appointed, it's all good to go. Okay, because the last thing we want to do is write up an application for you and help you in the field, and you've matched up with the appointment, but then they find out that you never got your 4-hour best interest suitability training done. You never did the product-specific training, and you weren't prepared. The other thing you want to make sure you have is whenever you have a match-up appointment or you have a client that's interested in a different state, and you have a resident state of California, and that client might be in Colorado, you better make sure you go get your non-resident license taken care of. You want to go to surcon.com, okay? Go to surcon.com, get your non-resident license taken care of. The worst thing we have is we close business for you on a match-up appointment, and then come to find out, are you licensed in Colorado? No, I'm not. Okay, well, we better get that done. So it's an investment, you guys. Invest in all your licenses as you get them. Whenever somebody comes up in a state, get it taken care of. It's worth your while, and it's a write-off, okay? Very important. Okay, so let me see if I got any other things here I want to talk about before I show my screen. I don't see anything right offhand, so I'm going to get into my presentation, and you guys just hang on to your seats. Okay, I don't have an extra screen, so I don't really get to see your beautiful faces, but I know you're there. I appreciate you being here, but I am going to address maybe some questions if I have time at the end. A lot of times I may not have a lot of time when we get down to the end, but we're gonna address them if I can, and I'll try to keep my the Zoom open as well, or the chat. Okay, how to become a financial professional, not an insurance salesman. You want to become a financial professional. You're not an insurance salesman. Okay, or salesperson, I should say. Okay, so this is my global financial impact. This is my email address. This is my Instagram. You've got my Calendly here, my link tree here. You know, if you guys take a picture of this, take some pictures, and I'll give you guys time to do that. But I also want you to know that I'm here to help you in any way I can. Okay, and that's one thing that I want you. People that know me, they know they can reach out. They know they can get help. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start this. Oh, this is me, long time ago. This is what I did: underground and aerial construction for 35 years. Okay, so that was my background. So if you think I knew anything about financial advising or financial planning, you think that guy might know anything about that? Probably not. But I tell you what, I could go out and compete in the street, and I can make sure that we got our job done for the companies. This is my why right here. You see my family, my amazing wife Jody. She's always been behind me. I'm married 43 years. You know, it's funny. She'd always tell you, you know, because I worked construction 35 years, people would say, Jody, how'd you guys stay married that long? And she'd just tell them Terry was never home. But I'm telling you, we love working together now. We're together now. We're getting closer every single day because of this business and because of the 5 Fs. It helps us with our life and our family. And you see my daughter Samantha here, and then Brandon, her husband. He's a specialist in the Air Force, and very proud of him and very proud of my daughter. But that little guy right there in the center, Ashton. Yeah, you want to get me emotional? Let's talk about him because he may be watching, but I want him to know how much I love him. I love you, Ashton, and I just we miss you all the time. We don't see you, but we get to see you on our phones all the time. But anyway, we'll be seeing you soon. This is my why. Okay, you guys need to have a reason why you're doing what you do. I'm going to start off right now with this because some of you guys might get bored with my presentation and drop off. Well, I'm going to get you right now. Rip out a clean sheet of paper. We're going to go through this right now so I can get it done, because I'd rather finish with this right now than try to finish later and you guys be wore out. Here we go. Roll over memory jogger. I want you to be thinking about, just write down a name. Who do you know that's over 59 and a half? Write the name down. I'm telling you, this is going to be money when we're done with this, because you're going to be so fired up when we get done, you're going to want to call them right away. So who do you know that's over 59 and a half? Who do you know that just changed jobs? Who do you know that just relocated? Maybe they left one job and went to another. Who do you know that works for a company going through a hardship? Who do you know that just got laid off? Who do you know that just sold a home or downsized their home? You know, we have ways to protect those assets. Who do you know that just got fired from their job? Who do you know that just inherited some money? Who do you know that just retired or is about to retire? Who do you know that lost money in the stock market? And there were people that lost a lot of money last week, just so you know. Who do you know that works for a company that allows in-service distribution? What's in-service distribution? It'll allow them to roll the money over before 59 and a half. Okay, who do you know that just sold a business? Who do you know that has a lot of money just sitting in the bank? Maybe money just sitting in a CD, you know, not earning enough interest. You know, you think about this in a CD, if they're earning 3 to 4% on a fixed rate and they're locked in for 5 years, what happens is that CD, they tax them on the interest credited at the end of the year. They tax them, and they haven't even touched the money yet. So what are they really earning on that money? Now they have less money working for them in the next 4 years. So it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't they want to roll that money over and get a better rate of return and not have to be taxed every year on the gains of the product? That's what we do here. So remember, banks, money in the bank sitting in a CD is not a good place to have it, or just sitting in cash. And then who do you know that passed away and left a legacy? Or who do you know that we can do a 72T with? That's a whole nother training with 72Ts. It's for somebody that's under 59 and a half. Maybe they have 10 years. They could roll their money over. They could start doing strategic rollouts, do a 72T where they're not charged the 10% penalty for the strategic rollout into a different IUL or a different product to grow the money tax-free. So I wanted to get this out of the way. Make sure you put that list together. Take a picture of this. Make sure you talk to your team and get their list. I promise you it'll be gold, okay? Again, I'm not going to get into the presentation, but obviously we're inspiring families to dream again. We have the best products and services really in the marketplace. And let me see here. I mean, as far as this is why the company was launched here, is because of the companies we work with. But I'm going to just rifle through the 3 rules of money. And for some reason, I'm not seeing the whole screen here, but I'm going to try to fix this. I'm going to go ahead and close this real quick here. Maybe if I can. Okay, 1 second. I don't know what's going on, but something is not allowing me to move this over. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a big screen here right in my way. Okay. Okay, here we go. I think I got it. 1 second. I'm a little challenged when it comes to computers, but I'll figure this out. Okay, there we go. That's more better. Okay, now I can see it. Couldn't see the screen. It's hard to train when you can't see the screen. Anyway, obviously we have 32 A-rated Fortune 500 companies we work with. Eric Olson launched GFI for the reason to have the best products and services in the marketplace for the client and have the best environment for the agents. The other thing I want you to really understand here is we have the best products, and I want you to really believe it. You need to start believing it, because you can compare with other companies, and I promise you these companies are going to outperform them. The 3 rules of money, obviously I'm not going to go over that. The how money grows, fixed, variable, and indexed. Obviously we understand how this works. You know, fixed and variable, this over here, this is where 95% of America is. Our job is to help protect those assets in an index strategy. And then tax now, tax later, tax advantage. The only reason I'm sharing this with you is when you're sharing this presentation, you should be asking questions like tax now. Just curious, do you have any assets in tax now? CDs, brokerage accounts, mutual funds, maybe a bunch of money just sitting in the bank account and not earning any interest. Write it down. How about tax later accounts, 401ks, 403bs, IRAs, SEP IRAs, annuities, any old pension plans, any old annuities you might have? Write it down. This is a good time to gather a little information if you need it, okay? And you're going to need it. And then what we do is we just let people know our job is to help you move from the left side of the screen to the right side, get you better rates of return, lock in those gains, index strategy, and have hopefully tax advantage opportunities where we can help you do that. And then this is, I always ask them, if you could teach a class on a 401k, how well could you teach that class to me? And if they're anything like me, they usually say a 2 or a 3 or a 4. And I say, what if I can get you up to about a 7 or 8? And they say, that'd be great. So here I'm going to show you the truth about the 401k. And you guys can take pictures, not a problem. So what happens is you have your gross, you take your gross, and you put that money in this variable account, which is a tax later account. This is the 401k. Now you're in the variable market in that 401k. And what happens is when at the end, when you decide to go touch the money, that's the big question mark. What's that going to look like when you decide to touch the money later? And they have a bunch of rules in these accounts. So you have a 59.5 rule. And what's that 59.5 rule? It's a 10% penalty. What that means is this is not yours until the government, the IRS, says it's yours. Because in the beginning, it's not yours, it's the IRS's, okay? Or you can say it's theirs. It's theirs until you turn 59.5. And they can change the rules at any time. Keep that in mind, very important. What if you were at average? An average right now is 30% on interest on the taxes on the feds, okay? So that's average. And then the 10% penalty. So if you touch it early before 59.5, you're going to lose 50% of your money in most states, okay? So 50% of your money is not a good deal if you're going to touch it early. Now what happens is people now at 73, they have another rule. It's called RMD, required minimum distribution. They say, now you're required to start taking distributions out of your 401k, and if you don't take those distributions out like you're supposed to, we're going to charge you a 25% excise tax on what you should have taken out. This is really important for people to understand this, throwing them into a higher tax bracket. So now what happens, most people wait till they're 65 before they go and retire so they can avoid that 10% penalty. But the question is, if I'm 35 and I'm going to wait 30 years to retire, and if I were to ask you, are taxes going to be lower or higher 30 years from now? The answer usually is higher. I think they're going to be higher. Well, okay, so let me understand this. You're tax deferring the money to put the money into a plan to where you're going to pay the taxes later, and you believe the taxes will be higher. I'm the government. I'm deferring the tax calculation. You don't even know what the federal and state's going to be 30 years from now. And this is the other thing I want to make a point of. In 1978, if you made more than $200,000, you were paying 70% in taxes. You can make $640,000 today as a single, and you're in a 37% tax bracket. Did you know that? 2026, 641, 37% tax bracket. What if we went back to 70% in 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now? Here's my question. Are you okay with me taking 70% of your money 20 years from now and leaving you with 30? Oh, you're not? Well, here's what I want to make a point of. Many of you on this call right now still have your money sitting in that 401k. I don't understand it. Maybe you haven't had enough training. There's a way to protect that and make it better for you, okay? So you need to go talk to your EMD and you need to go let them know you got money that needs to be protected. I promise you it's going to be, by the time I finish with this presentation, you're going to want to do that. Now over on the left, they have fees, 12 to 17 fees, 3.42 to 5.67 annually. They have rules, they have regulations, they have restrictions. You've got penalties, market loss, taxes. They end up in probate. And you have to, if it gets passed down generationally to the next generation, you got to liquidate it within 10 years. That's going to throw your family into a higher tax bracket. It's going to liquidate all the money you've had worked so hard for. If you pass it down from one of these accounts to your kids, I'm telling you, you're making a big mistake, especially if you have the opportunity to do a Roth conversion. And that's what we specialize in. I'm part of the advanced planning division, and we specialize in training on that. In fact, Andy and I are going to be training next week on that. I'm excited to be able to help Andy or work with Andy. Andy needs no help, trust me. That guy's amazing. So let's go ahead and sign you up. Back in the day, I used to slide this across. I'd draw it out on paper. I'd put an X and slide it across, and I'd say, let's sign you up today. They went, I don't want to sign up with that. I go, well, you're already signed up. You already have one. Why don't we take your distribution that you're putting in here and let's put it into an IUL? And let's go ahead and call in and let's see if the money is eligible to roll over. That's what we do. So we protect the money from market volatility. From variable, we move the money into an index strategy. And so this next one here is just a grip, how we get a grip on their investments. People have money sitting in a fixed account earning low returns. You have savings, high yield CDs. You have, they're just not earning enough interest in the bank. Variable, this is the unprotected asset class. And if you look up variable in the dictionary, it's unreliable, undependable, inconsistent. Well, would you buy a car like that? You probably wouldn't. Would you buy a watch like that? No. You want to make sure your money's being protected and you're going to get consistent growth. And remember, the rule of 72 does not work in variable. Okay, it only works in fixed and indexed. No taxes, no penalties, no fees. We roll the money over, no taxes, no penalties, no fees. The money moves into an index strategy. You have the upside with no downside risk. The grip is we get a guarantee. First, the grip is the G is the guarantee you can't lose any principal. Let me ask you a question. If we talk to your financial advisor, do you think he could tell you that he can guarantee he won't lose any of your principal? No, he can't. So when I let them know and they say they have a financial advisor, I said, that's awesome. He's done a great job getting you where you're at today. My job is to help protect that. In fact, why don't we get him on a Zoom meeting with me or a phone call with me? And between the two of us, if you have two people working for you towards your financial future, isn't that even better? And they're going to go, yeah. I go, well, let's get him on the phone. They said, that'd be awesome. I go, but I want you to know one thing. He will not get on the phone with me. 9 times out of 10, the advisors will never get on the phone with us because they can't answer that one question. I just got one question for you, Mr. Advisor. Can you guarantee my client won't lose any principal in the future? You know I can't do that. I know you can't, but I can. And we're going to give them a great rate of return, index strategy, pension-like income. So we're bringing back the pensions that have been taken away in our country. It's not a pension, it's pension-like income, okay? It's from a fixed index annuity and the potential for bonuses. So let's say I have the rule of 72. Based on the rule of 72, if I'm earning at 10% my first year, that 50-year-old rolls over 500,000. Day one, his first year, he has 550,000 on his 10% growth. Based on the rule of 72, now my money is going to double every 7.2 years. So 58, 1.1 million, 65, 2.2 million, 72, 4.4 million. These work. I'm telling you, they work. You guys just got to believe they work. Whoops. And then over here, this one here is, I asked the question, one, your money may be eligible to roll over. We don't know that without making the phone call and identifying whether it's eligible or not. I'm going to help you with the questions to ask on the phone when you call into the provider. So this is what I would share with this. Is it eligible to roll over? 2, are you looking for accumulation, or are you looking for lifetime income? Or are you looking for possibly doing a Roth conversion? So this is where we can help our clients with all 4 of these, okay? And this is what we do. Depending on what their needs are, we meet them at their need. So here's some new slides that I found. They're old slides, but they're really, really valuable. I think Eric Olson did a training on this years ago. Our aim to protect families, income, assets through world-class financial education, showing powerful financial concepts, offering our partnership opportunity. So this is really important for you guys. Take some pictures of this. These are slides that probably you haven't seen in a while. If some of you may have seen them at one time or another, these are really good. What have you been told? Get a good education, get a good job, get a good salary. During that time, save money. Do you agree? Yes, that's what we've been told. What are the results? What do these numbers mean to you? Almost half of Americans fear running out of money in retirement. 55% of Americans say the pandemic set their retirement back 2 or more years. The true state of Americans' financial lives, only 3 in 10 are financially healthy. I think that number is even lower today. I think it's more 1 or 2 in 10. And then wealth formula for middle America. This is middle America. This is the formula for middle America. Has it worked for you or against you? Education, get a good education, put effort in, put your time in, and equals wealth. But then all of a sudden, you get market loss, you get taxes, you have inflation, things that eat away at your wealth. This is true. Wealth formula for wealthy Americans. Did anyone tell you that you could get service and leverage others to help you and have lifestyle? And you can have savings that's going to grow based on an interest rate that's not going to have downside risk, only upside potential. You have protection on your income and on the interest, and you have tax strategies, ingredients to build wealth. What if you could growth outpace inflation? 2, index strategy, protection, principal, plus interest. Protected, never running out of money, free withdrawals, income for life, free withdrawals during your working years. And then when you want to turn on your retirement, you can. You can upgrade an accumulation product into a lifetime income product even, okay? They're called upgrades, and you want to be always looking out for upgrades. On the left, fixed index annuity. That's what an FIA is. What is an annuity? Annuity is just protection on your money. And if you look at the difference, there's a fixed annuity that gives you a fixed rate. There's a variable annuity. So don't ever think because somebody says they have annuity, it's the right one. It could be a fixed annuity, not earning enough interest, or it could be in a variable market where they're unprotected. Then there's a fixed index annuity. It has the best of both worlds. You have the upside with no downside risk. Guarantees, like it says right here, just like we went over. Index lock, you're locking in those gains. Pension, income for life, 5 to 20% bonuses. Money must be eligible. Money must be eligible to roll over. So somebody, when I say money may be eligible, that means they may have left a 401k and went to work with another company. They left their 401k there. That is eligible money. Or they went to work with another company and they rolled that money over, or it might even be a TSP for military. They might have a TSP. That money is eligible for them to take the money out, especially if they're not working there anymore. So if they roll the money over with the new company, we call the new company's provider, that money is eligible to roll over. So just keep that in mind. The client must pass suitability. So that's the other thing. If you guys are ever trying to do these on your own, make sure you run the application by your EMD before you submit it, because we want to make sure you do it right. Okay, it has to pass suitability. It's got to be done the right way, or do it with your EMD. So fixed index annuities versus 401k, an IRA, no guarantees, fluctuating rate of return, vulnerable investment, renting your gains, no pension, no bonus, distribution of assets when you retire, you run out of money. I'm telling you, I have a video I did 6 years ago. It's about a 12-minute video, and it talks about that. What's the difference when you start pulling money out of your 401k? You start pulling money out of that 401k, and all of a sudden you're out of money and you're going back to work. And it's really important that you guys really understand there's a big difference between the two. And this is a great article in New York Times, January 30th, 2010. The unloved annuity gets a hug from Obama. And it says down here, if the biggest risk in retirement is running out of money, an annuity can help guarantee that you won't. In effect, it allows you to buy the pension that your employer has probably stopped offering, and it can help pick up where Social Security leaves off. And then, part of this same article, there are also stockbrokers and financial planners standing in the way. Once money goes into an annuity, they can't earn commissions from trading it anymore and may not be able to charge fees for managing it. Financial advisors have a charming term for this phenomenon. It's called annuicide. You insure and their revenue dies. So many of them will try to talk you out of it. They hate us. They hate the fact that with a life-only license, we can protect people's assets into annuities. We can move money from those accounts the financial advisors have where they're charging them a fee. And why won't, if we have fixed products in the marketplace, we have variable products in the marketplace, we have index products in the marketplace. If we have all three, why won't the financial advisors or the banks recommend this to their clients? Because as soon as they move the money, they can't charge a fee to manage the money anymore. Yet they call themselves fiduciaries and they say they do the right thing for the client. Why didn't you give them all the options? You know, if that client lost 20% last year, you say, just hang on, you'll make it back. You'll bounce back. Well, I'm 75. I don't have time to bounce back. What if I lose 30% next year? What are my other options? Man, cross your fingers. I don't know what else to tell you. No, the other options are us. You got to reach out. That's all I can say. Okay, so now you guys have seen this. A lot of you have. Some of you may not have. But I remember, I think my great Andy Roman again. I went to him for help. I took a yellow pad and said, I want this on a yellow pad. Can you help me? He did, because I put the numbers together. My wife even loved this. She said, I'm a visual person. I love this, Terry. This makes sense. So this is for potential clients that tell me they made 30% last year on their 401ks, stocks, or mutual funds, or they tell me they lost 30%, but they will make that 30% back when the market bounces back. So let's do some examples here. I have an A and a B. These are two different types of strategies. A, we're going to use 100,000 in each. I'm only going to go out 5 years. I'm not going to go any further, just 5 years. But let's say in A, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 50% your first year. I'm going to take away 50% second year, so take away 50%, give you 50% the third year, take away 50% the fourth year. And if you add this up, 4 divided by, or you take this 0, you add it up, it equals 0 divided by 4 is 0. Okay, so in other words, an advisor is going to let you know you had a 0 return on average. Okay, but because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to give you 50% in the 5th year. You add this up, it equals 50 divided by 5, 10% average return. So when you look at this average return, okay, that makes sense. Ask the client. So basically, we're looking at a 10% average return over the 5-year period. On the right, the only thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to guarantee you 0. What do people tell you all the time? Those annuities don't earn very much interest. Well, I'm just going to give you 5%. We're just going to keep it real conservative. I'm going to give you 5% the first year, but in the second year, I'm not going to lose 50% of that 5%. We're going to lock it in, okay? So you didn't lose a dime. Third year, I'm going to give you 5% more, okay? Not going to lose any money in the 4th year. We're going to lock it in the 5th year, 5%. You add that up, 15 divided by 5 is a 3% average return. Now, if I didn't explain how the Guarantee 0 works, and I asked the client on the phone, or on the presentation, which would you rather have? They're going to say, I want that 10% average return. I say, okay, let's add it up. So let's see what that looks like. You take the 100,000 plus 50% is 150,000. Minus 50% of that 150 is 75,000. Plus 50% of the 75 is 112,500. You subtract 50% from that, you're at 56,250. Add 50% to that, you're 84,375. Now hold on a minute. I got a 10% average return. I started with 100 grand. I got 84,375 left over. That doesn't make sense. No, it's hard to explain. And the advisor will have a hard time explaining it too. Okay? Especially when they're charging you fees as well. Now on the right, let's add it up. 105,000, you don't take a loss. You lock in the gain the second year. Now you're sitting at, on the 5%, 110,250. And you take no losses in the 4th year. Now you're sitting on 115,762, but you only got a 3% average return. What are the two differences? The one on the left, A, this one here is market loss. No guarantees, variable. On the right, here's your no cap, no fees, no market loss, index strategy. What's the difference between average and actual? Actual returns on the left was negative 15.625. On the right, the positive 15.762. Now, if I show this to you, which would you rather have? Oh, the one on the right. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, let me ask you a question. When's the last time anybody showed you any numbers on your assets? Well, let me show you how to do that. And then we talk about, this is just 15 benefits of a fixed index annuity. You lock in the gains, index strategy, guarantee no principal loss, tax deferred growth, accumulation or monthly income for life, up to 20% signing bonuses, even more on some companies. Guaranteed, no cap, no fees, 10% free withdrawal, protected from probate, Roth conversions are optional. Billion-dollar insurance companies backing you up. They've been around 150 years. You know, it's funny how people say, man, I'm not sure without those insurance companies how strong they are. Well, let me ask you a question. In 2008, when the market shut down in 2008, and there was a run on the banks, and the bank had all the money loaned out, and nobody was paying the banks back, there were 300 banks that went out of business. How many insurance companies went out of business? Not one. And this is what they're going to tell you. AIG did. No, AIG got bailed out. But AIG paid every penny back that first year. It was trillions of dollars. AIG is still around, stronger than ever. Corebridge, okay? Trust me, they never went out of business. Don't let them lie to you and tell you that, because that's not true. You can stand up and say, no, AIG paid every single penny back. But they had so much loaned out on homes that it was an issue, okay? Yeah, it was hard, but they came back with a boom. So anyway, you can add joint, spousal, terminal illness, nursing home riders, nursing facility riders. You got a death benefit. You know, the best part is, what if I got a client that's 75 years old, has got $1 million sitting in the bank, and I ask them, what is that money slotted for that you're earning 0.01% on? My grandkids. Really? That's for your grandkids? What if I showed you a way to roll that money over and I got you a 45% signing bonus in one of our insurance companies where the banks put your money, so you have tier 1 capital protection, and day one you'd have $1,450,000 in this account, then instead of $1 million sitting over here. And if you passed away in the first week after your contract's in force, your family's going to get $1,450,000. Which would you rather have? You're kidding me, right? No, I'm not kidding you. That's what we do, just so you know. So it depends on the client. No management fees, upside potential and no downside risk. No taxes, no penalties, no fees to roll the money over, okay? Now, I always call in and verify everything with the client first. I say, why don't we check this out and see if your money is even eligible? So you guys are going to take some pictures of this. Also, would you like to see what your numbers look like? I go to Annuity Genius, and Annuity Genius just upgraded, okay, just today, I believe. Here's the link right here. I don't know if I can actually copy that or not. Probably not. But let's go ahead and you guys take a picture of this. This is where and make sure you go through Global Financial Impact so you can get a discount, okay? And you can run a free Annuity Genius. They give you a trial where you can run it and play with it for free, all right? You can get a first month free on that. So I believe it's a month. Maybe not quote me on that, but you guys take a picture of this. You guys, if anybody has the link, please post it in the chat. I'd appreciate that, or if you could find that, I appreciate that. That would really help. But I'm going to go through what I would do if I'm making a phone call with a client. First of all, I prepare them. I let them know what the call is going to be like when we start making this call. All I want to do is identify. The first thing I say is, I just want to identify there's no surrender fees or no penalties. If you decided you wanted to move this, I want to know that you can move it, it's eligible, and I want to make sure there's no penalties or surrender fees. And they go, yeah, I want to make sure of that too, because they're concerned about surrender fees or penalties. They don't even know if a 401k has them, okay? So they agree to make the phone call. So the rollover questions, let's do a quick 3-way call to your provider and see if you're eligible to roll over your account. We can verify there are no surrender fees or penalties if you decided to roll it over. That's if you decided to roll it over. We're not going to make any moves right now. Do it ASAP if possible. If time does not permit, let the client know the best time to call to their provider is early AM because everyone's rolling over and protecting their money, and hold times in the afternoon could be 45 minutes or longer. Prepare your client for the call. You get their birth date and their last four of their social, so you're prepared when you make the phone call, so you can take care of that. Client account review checklist, and then rollover questions. Okay. 1, can you tell me the balance in my client's account? Now, I introduce myself. I say, hello, my name is Terry King. We have our client on the phone with us. And I mention the client's name so they know they're on the phone. And I said, we have some questions about their account. Can you please verify the client so that I can help them ask some questions? They say yes. So they verify the client, and I start asking questions. Can you tell me the balance of my client's account as of last market close? And you take notes. Is my client's money eligible to roll over? Is my client's money in variable or index accounts? Or I ask what type of accounts they're in. Okay, they're going to tell me. I want to know also if there's is there an IRA or an IRA and Roth IRA combination? Because sometimes they'll tell you they won't tell you that there's IRA money inside of that original IRA. Okay, so are there any non-qualified accounts or stocks? All a non-qualified account is maybe it might be just something that's already taxes have been paid on it. My point here is there may be an annuity that's non-qualified. You guys got to just ask all the questions. Make sure you're asking a lot of different questions for that. Write them down. You're gathering the information. And then you have them break down each one of those accounts. What is the balance? Okay, so if they have an IRA and a Roth IRA, what's the Roth IRA portion? What's the IRA portion? Because when you roll that money over, it has to go into the specific not Roth IRA, or it's got to go into specific IRA, okay, or annuity, okay? So that's very important to understand. Rollover questions. 5, can you guarantee my client will not lose any money if the market declines? And they usually, if they're in the variable, they say, you know, I can't do that. I know you can't. If my client moves their money to another traditional IRA, are there surrender fees? I want to make sure there's no surrender fees on that money. If so, how much are the surrender and or administration fees? What amount is eligible to roll over? I'm asking questions, okay? It's really important. 9, maybe I should let you guys take a picture of that. If you guys, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you guys know you can always, most of you know you can reach out to me. Yeah, I'll put my phone number in the chat, or maybe somebody can put my phone number in the chat. I know, Bob, you're out there. Thank you, Bob Goddardson, for being the man you are. Appreciate you, brother. Rollover questions. 9, do you charge a processing fee for a rollover? 10, if so, how much is the processing fee? I want to know. I'm finding all this out for the client. 11, do you require paperwork, or can the rollover be done over the phone? Can you do a wire transfer? Okay, so that's important. 12, if paperwork is required, please email the forms to my client. Because sometimes there's paperwork that's required, not a transfer form that they have to fill out. So I want to make sure that's emailed in case the client decides they do want to move forward. Rollover questions. 13, do you require transfer form and letter of acceptance? Because I want to know, because when I do the application, it's going to ask, is a transfer form or letter of acceptance required? And when you find out that they do need a transfer form and letter of acceptance, make sure you get the company's name, exact name, and address, because you have to match that up for that transfer form inside the application, and get their fax number. That fax number is money for the insurance agency, okay, for the company. When you guys are working with a provider, that fax number really helps them out. If my client decides to roll over the account, can the check be overnighted to the receiving company or to the client? Sometimes, I'll use Fidelity as an example. They mail the check directly to the client. We're trying to get a lot of companies on board to where we can take a picture of those checks and make it happen. But there's a process for that, okay? But we ask the questions anyway. You have to ask if they will only cut a check, okay? You won't do wire transfers. You only cut a check. Will that go directly to the receiving company or to the client? You want to ask that question. Make sure you know that. What is the fee to overnight the check? So make sure you find out, is there a fee to overnight the check? And thank you, Christina, for taking these pictures. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So what is the fee? You want to find out. It might be a $25 fee to overnight it. Always ask if they have overnight delivery, because you want to make sure that that check is tracked. Okay, very important. Rollover questions. This is my favorite. You won't believe how many times I ask this question. Don't forget this one. Who are the beneficiaries on this account? And I asked the client before we got on the call, do you have beneficiaries on this account? Oh yeah, absolutely, 100% guaranteed. And then we get on the call. 6 out of 10 don't have beneficiaries that said they did. And they were livid. They lost it. They said, my advisor that set this up was supposed to have everything in order. And they said, he hasn't even called me for 3 years, or haven't talked to her in 4 years. I'm not kidding. That's exactly the verbiage that comes from the client when they find out they don't have beneficiaries. I go, oh my God, you're kidding me? There's no beneficiaries? I called on one client and it said the kids. I go, well, is there any phone numbers? Is there any way to contact them? Oh no, I'm sorry, sir. I'll send that beneficiary form out right away. Well, thank you for that. It's only been 5 years they had this account. God forbid anything happened to them. What's going to happen with the money? It goes into probate and the family can't touch it for 2 years and pay attorney fees because you didn't do your job of putting beneficiaries on there. I'm telling you, I back up my client. I stand up for my client. And after the call, this is the bonus. After the call with the provider, always, I don't know how many times I got to say that, always get permission to move fast to get the application in ASAP. You don't want, see, here's the thing, as Mr. and Mrs. Klein, aren't you excited? I mean, now we know everything about your account. I know there's a lot you just found out you didn't even know. But I want you to understand, I want to get this application in as quickly as I can. And the reason is I'm going to be moving pretty fast. And I need your permission to do that because I don't want to be the reason the market takes a 20% hit in the next 2 weeks. And because I drug my feet and I didn't get this application in, then it's going to be on me. I hope you understand. I want to get this application in, see if we can get you approved. So that way I know that you're ready to go. We have a contract number. Now we have a place to put that money. They go, yeah, no problem. Here's what's going to happen when you do this the right way. When you call the client and you need information, they're going to pick up the phone right away because they know you're moving fast. You want to get this done. If you don't go over this and you're calling the client constantly, hey, I still need this information. I can't get your application in without it. They're going to go, you know what? All you want is my money. I'm not interested in working with you. I guarantee you, a lot of you have done rollovers, have experienced that because you didn't do this. Do this. It's money, promise you. Here's the rollover compensation. Let's say your rollover payout is 7.5%. Did you know that Globe Life, Bankers Life, all these other companies that say they're competing with us, they pay 3 and 3.5% to the field on rollovers. Most of them don't even do rollovers. Most of them say, oh no, I can't do that part. I have somebody else that has to do that for me. And then I don't get paid on those. Really? Well, you need to come and see what we're doing here. You can recruit to this, okay? Rollover payout, 7.5, $1 million times 7.5 is 75,000 points, times your contract level at 40% as an associate is 30 grand. What if you did 4 $250,000 rollovers and you, even if you didn't do them on your own, you matched them up, you leverage somebody else to do it until you can learn how to do it yourself. You just made 15 grand as a brand new associate. You think that might make a difference for you and your family? Leverage. I leveraged for my first year. I leveraged other people that were better than me and went on the appointments to learn because the great Alex Carranza and Norma Carranza, his sister, they took me under their wing and they helped me. And without them, I couldn't have done it on my own. So reach out to your upline, your EMDs, I should say. Make sure you get some help. So this is important. Here's your rollover compensation right here. So I just, I don't know what's going on right now, but I've never, ever, ever seen numbers like they are with our company. They're just every single cycle is just bam, bam, bam. People are making $100,000, $200,000 on a cycle because they're doing rollovers. So if that's the case, don't you think it might be worthwhile for you to take advantage of that? And again, here's Annuity Genius. I'm not going to spend too much time on Annuity Genius. You guys should be on Annuity Genius. I'm telling you that's a money maker right here. Go get the free trial app. Don't be afraid to invest in your business. It's really important. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And I just want to, I'll tell you what, I'm open right now. If you guys, and I don't know how many questions I'll be able to get to, but you guys want to raise your hands, I'll be happy to take some questions and see if I can help with that. I see Rob. I see, I think it's Gage. I'll go with Rob first. Rob, go ahead and unmute yourself if you can. I don't know if you can or not, to be honest with you. Maybe not. I know there's a different kind of a training. Don't know Milen's on here, but Milen, I don't know if they can unmute or not. Let's see. I may have just stepped out of bounds on that one, but let me see if I can ask to unmute. I see. I see you guys with your hands up, but I can't. You cannot unmute.
I
Sorry,
can.
guys. Oh, somebody did. Who is that?
Yeah, I can. There's a button in the bottom left of the screen that lets you.
Okay. Gage,
Um,
thank you.
yeah. Hey, Terry. Thanks for the call, man. That was definitely learned a ton. I got plenty of notes. I actually have a client that I'm meeting with here in about an hour that's, likely going to kind of be in this situation, wanting to get out of variable market. Um, I have another client though that I've kind of, I don't want to say had trouble with, but they just kind of are having a hard time understanding the value of actually protecting the money. And I literally was just talking with the guy. Um, I asked him if he's looked at his account recently because I've been hearing a lot of, people losing and they're, upset about it. Just this year, I have one person that's lost. They keep saying, "Oh, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm just going to let it ride." What's a conversation starter, I guess, that you would recommend to kind of help them understand that letting it ride is not, I mean, me personally, I don't think that's a good idea because this is the only account that they have that's going to supply them income in retirement. That doesn't really seem like a good idea. What is something that I can help um, kind of, I don't want to say sway them, but kind of just understand the importance of these accounts that we're trying to help them with.
If somebody could, thank you, Gage. Those are really good question. But somebody, if they can put the 12 closing questions in the comments, I don't have access to it right now.
I
But
did
what I
take a
always
picture of
asked,
them.
here's what I found out is some of the best people doing annuities. What they do is they talk to people about what's happening in the future. You have no control over what's happening in the government. Don't you agree? We have no control over what's happening with these wars.
Right.
Don't you agree that the market might be a little bit inflated, a little bit manipulated? Don't you agree with that? Yes, I agree with that. Well, let me ask you a question. How much control do you have over any of that? None.
Right.
Well, that's
Yeah,
going to affect
exactly.
your accounts, okay? So doesn't it make sense to at least protect a portion of your assets? And if you want to gamble with the rest of it, go for it. But let me protect what you have today. You've done a good job growing it to where it is today. My job is you've done a great job growing it. My job is to protect it and keep your growth going with no downside.
Right.
So those are things. And then this one here, I'm going to share this screen before I jump into the next question, Larry. But I'm going to share this screen. I love this screen. Take a picture of this. It's one of my favorites to share with clients because a lot of them don't understand that a fixed index annuity, they think, oh no, they just can't grow. Well, let me let you understand something. On a point to point, 1 year point to point. Let's say my money grows 1 year. This is on Annuity Genius. I'm sorry, on Annuity Genius. It's under American Equities Asset Shield. You can pull this brochure off of that. But here's the 1 year the market goes up. And then what happens in year two? I explained to the client, year two, the market goes down. We have no control over what's going to happen in the future. But you locked in your gain. In the old days, annuities were so bad, they had to wait for this to catch up to here before they had any earnings at all. Today, based on the point to point strategy, when you have your money locked in, not lost a dime, guess where you reset? You reset here. You bounce back from this market. I've made clients 52% in the bounce back. Well, they're pretty happy about that. Well, then the market goes down. What happens? You lock in the gains. But guess what?
Right.
Down here somewhere, you're going to reset when that bounces back. This is a really good slide to share with people.
Yeah.
If you guys ever want to take that slide and share, I would share it 100%. But
I
great
took
great
a
job,
picture of
Gage.
it.
Great questions.
Thank you.
I know we got about 4 minutes. Larry, go ahead, unmute yourself if you can. There's a mute button on the bottom left on your screen. If you can't, Crystal, are you able to? I don't know if anybody else can unmute. Terry, you can unmute them. I can. Let me see. Let me see how I would do that.
There we go. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was easy. Okay.
Who says you're not good
Hi,
at
Larry.
that, right? Hey, question for you. It's all great to have, the questions to ask, but is there a list of questions that you have that on the other end, why they wouldn't want to do the annuity? So we know when those questions come up, go, oh, I didn't know about that. I don't have that on my ammunition list of why someone would not want to do the annuity, or, what's the negative on annuity or comparing them like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Or
So what
what you
happens is,
hear?
because
Yeah.
annuities in the old days were bad, okay, and they're just so good today. And why are these insurance companies competing in the annuity space? Why are financial advisors now opening up their doors to annuities? Because they can't compete with us. Okay, that's the big deal. So when you think about it, they were bad at one time, okay, and they need to understand today annuities are different. They're hybrids. They're changed, and they have market-like gains with no downside risk. But the other question I would say is, or answer I would answer that with is, if somebody asks you a question you don't know, as Greg Cap would say, that's a really good question. I've got some people that can answer that question for us. Why don't I see if I can set up a time? We'll do a call and I'll have them answer the question for you. Don't try to answer the question in case you get it wrong. If you don't know the answer, the best thing to do is say, that's a really good question. I'm going to find that question out, answer, and I'm going to get an answer for you. Okay. So I hope that helped, Larry, on that. Crystal, I see you here. I hope I didn't throw Larry off or kick him off. I'm going to see if I can get you in here. Okay. Let's try that, Crystal. Are you there, Crystal? Did I lose you? I see the view. I still can't get you on here for some reason. Ask to mute.
Okay. Can
Sorry
you hear
about
me
that.
now?
My problem. Yep.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much, Terry, for today's class. Definitely got a lot of value. I'm actually just getting into more of the rollover market and everything, so it took a lot from today. But I had a question because I know when it comes to like rolling over, let's say 401ks, because those are tax deferred. Is there like maybe strategies? Obviously, you can't mix qualified and non-qualified together, but is there strategies in place to where let's say you roll over the 401k into a qualified account. Is there a strategy in place to help like convert that into like tax free for them,
Yeah,
or how does that
Roth
work?
conversions.
Oh,
That's when, in fact, there's money. There's blueprints out there. Eric Carter had one help me with one yesterday. That blueprint is amazing. I'm telling you, it's a software you can pay for. It's a Roth conversion software. It tells them exactly what they should be taking out to keep them in their tax bracket.
mm,
So it's obviously important how you do that to keep them in the lowest tax bracket possible. So be very careful when you start churning money into to and remember, even if they pay the taxes, they pull the money out and they put it in a non-qualified account, they're still paying capital gains taxes. So the best way to do that, and my good friend Austin Harwood trained on that last night, is strategic rollouts, where you can take money out, pay the taxes on it, keep yourself in the right tax rate, and then fund that money into an IUL or a participating whole life policy. Those are called strategic rollouts. Those are awesome, just so you know. So listen, I'm a little late, but Nick, I want to get you in here. Hey, Crystal, thank you for that question. I appreciate it. And Nick, I'm gonna see if I can get you on here. We're gonna get this last question in, Nick.
Thanks
Nice
so
meeting you.
much, Terry. I
Great
appreciate
hat.
all you do, man. And it just keeps hitting home every time I hear this. Just I pick up a little bit more. So I thank you for that, brother.
Thank you.
Um, my question is, I know you've been able to help clients on the upside like crazy, 52%. That's incredible. Um, is that like a rate lock feature that you're capitalizing on, or because I know like the downside is some of these products they're capped.
This is a good question. Okay, and when you're picking allocations, one of the things you're going to learn is you want to have a blend of both. But I like when you have participation rates. You have participation rates and you have caps. The participation rates are they're going to be uncapped. Okay,
Mhm.
so sometimes you'll make more money on the participation rates on products than you would on the capped. But
Got
the
it.
capped are a safe deal if you're getting 9.5%. And just remember, anytime you give a client a bonus to upgrade an annuity to make them, because when you have your net surrender value and accumulation value, what happens, the way you determine whether that money is eligible to roll over, add the bonus to the net surrender value. If it's greater than the accumulation or within the allowable 5% loss for the company that you're rolling it to, they'll accept it. But anytime you take a bonus up front, it's going to limit the back end growth.
Right.
Always. If you don't take a bonus and you can avoid a bonus, do it at all costs. And that way the growth is on the front end. Okay,
Got
so
it.
I hope that answers that question.
Thanks,
I,
man.
I think
Appreciate you.
do we have another training coming up after this? I'm pretty sure we do. If we do, I probably need to stop. Not really sure. I don't know if we do. Let me see here. The next one is winning Wednesday. Okay, so good. I'm going to answer more questions. I hope you don't mind. You know what? Let's give our Zoom hosts a big hand. I tell you what, they work their butts off every day for us. They're always on time. We're not all the time, but they always keep us on track. They're always giving us like, you got 90 seconds, 60 seconds. I want you to know how amazing our back office is, our C-suite is. We got Milan. I don't know if that's you, Milan, but whoever you are, we appreciate you. We appreciate our Zoom host, and I want you to know we appreciate everything you do for us. And so, Ron Shaw, let's go, man. I want to unmute you, and we'll see if we can get some more questions in here. We'll spend a little bit more time, maybe another 10, 15 minutes.
Thank you, sir. My question was, you were talking about how they taxed on distribution now that you have to take distributions or get taxed again. I was looking into that because I wanted to look into how they double dip on that because that was going to be one of the points I bring up when I start writing a little bit more business. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit stuck right now because I don't really have much of a warm market. But once I get in there, the double dipping factor is one of the things that a lot of people don't know about. So, do you think you can explain that secondary hit that they hit you with on the distributions, or can you tell me the name of it so I can look it up, please?
Are you talking about the RMDs, required minimum distribution?
Yes,
Okay,
that's what I
so
was.
here's what this is the way it is. It used to be 70 and a half rule when you turn 70 and a half, then they changed it to 72, then they changed it to 73. And so at the 73 rule, the way it works is once you turn 73, you have to take your required minimum distribution. It's a percentage. So if they have, I don't know, $100,000 in there, they might need to take $1,000 out on the RMDs. If they don't take the RMD out, okay, which our companies let them know they need to take it out. As long as they take the RMD out, there's no excise tax fee. Okay, it's when they don't take it out, then that $1,000 they were supposed to take out, they're going to charge them a 25% excise tax on what they should have taken out. Okay, so as long as they stay on point with the excise with the RMD and they do what they're supposed to do, and I help my clients with that. I make sure we submit the paperwork. When do you want to take the money? We spread it out month to month if they want to. They can have it coming in every month. Once they set it up with us, they never have to worry about it. They'll never get hit with that that excise tax. So hopefully that helped and answered your question.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. And we got I see Corey. Well, you know what? I see. I'm gonna unmute you guys right now. I see Robin first. I think you were in here a while, Robin. Let's go ahead and let's talk to you, Robin, and then we'll talk to Corrine.
Hi, Terry. You went over a lot of information. I did my best to keep up. However, um, can you give me your contact information? That way I can have a picture of it.
Yeah,
Missed that.
559. Oh, again, the contact.
If
I
you
just
don't mind.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that for sure. You guys, yeah, take a picture of this and do I even have it up here? I don't have it up here anymore. I shut down my PowerPoint, but let me
Okay.
see if I can bring it up. And while we're doing that, but I'm happy to do that, Robin. You just reach out, let me know. And Corrine,
Thank
I'm
you,
happy
Terry.
to answer any of your questions. Just let me know what you need to help with. Oh, I got to mute you 1 second. Sorry about that. I got a slide in my way. I'll get to you in 1 second here. Whoops. I'm kind of a rookie here. Let's go. I'll get this. Okay.
All
There you
right.
go.
Thank you so much, Terry. Good morning, everyone. So those are great rollover questions, Terry. My question is, let's say client still working with his employer and 60-year-old for an in-service rollover. Are we going to use the same questions that you shared with us, or?
So no matter what, and it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be 60 years old to have in-service distribution. They could be under 60, under 59 and a half, and the company may be eligible. There's a list, Allianz has a list of 300 companies that allow in-service distribution. And so if you know anyone in those companies, and I'm not sure if you have that, Bob, but that list of companies that you can actually go to employees that are working for those companies and they have in-service distribution before 59 and a half. So while they're still working there, they can move the money. I just asked, is in-service distribution age is a different age in some respect. Some might have 55, some might have 59 and a half. But if they say, yes, we do have in-service distribution, which means the client can't move the money until they're 59 and a half. But I asked the next question, Kareen, is there any eligible money in the account? What's eligible money? It's money that they had in their old 401k. They won't offer it up to you. You have to ask them, because that client might have left an old 401k and moved that 401k in with the new one. That is eligible. It's called legacy money. They cannot hold on to that. You can roll that over. You can roll that out. Okay. No matter what age they are.
Sounds good. That's a very good information. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I see Paul, are you unmuted?
Hey,
Oh, thank
yeah, I
you.
am. Great. Good to see you, Terry. Great information. So
Thanks,
my question may be a topic for a different training, but my question is, I've got people that are in the right market that I haven't talked to for some time. So what is a good conversation starter to do that? Because I keep thinking if I call them up and say, hey, all of a sudden they're going to sit there, they're going to smell like sales and hang up or something like that. So what's going to ease into it?
Good question. Turn on your recorders. I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to like it. I think you'll like it. We'll see. Just turn on your phone recorder. And so here's what I would say to them, Paul. Give me the first name of a friend. I need to mute again. Yeah. First name of a friend.
Oh, just say Tom.
Tom. So you call Tom up. Hey, Tom. Hey, listen, man. I don't know if I've told you, but I recently jumped on board with this company. Amazing company. They have amazing products and services, man. These are products and services I've actually didn't even know existed for clients. And I can't promise you anything. I don't know if there's anything here for you or not, but I'd love for you to just jump on a meeting with me, a Zoom, so you can actually see what I'm doing, so that you'll feel comfortable referring business to me down the road. Fair enough?
Great. Thanks.
And when I get to the 10-item menu, I'm going to go, which ones of these stand out for you? He goes, this one, this one, this one, this one. Yeah. Great
Perfect.
question,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I got all the answers in there. So I'm going to share my screen real quick with you for Robin. And this one is going to be, let me see if I can get it up here real quick here. I'm going to share it if I can. And then you can snap another picture of it. This is for my, for the rollover. Let's see here. Okay, escape. 1 second. I share. Maybe I'm not sharing. Okay. You guys can snap a picture of this if you like. And that's my contact information. And I want you to know, first of all, you guys, you got what it takes. Trust me. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here's my point. I'm going to take just a couple minutes. You guys got what it takes. You just got to believe it. You got to look in the mirror and say, you know what? If nothing changes, nothing changes. If I don't get out of my comfort zone right now, this next 3 to 5 years is going to go by and I'm going to miss it. Okay, just get out of your comfort zone. Go just start talking to people. Be genuinely interested in them. When you're talking to strangers, just ask them, isn't it crazy what's going on in the market? It's funny because what's happening with the wars and what's happening, when nobody really can control what's going on in the government. Nobody can control what's going on with Social Security and with our taxes and with inflation. And, it's funny is I'm working with some people right now that are showing me how to grow money risk-free and tax-free. Man, they're teaching me everything a financial advisor won't teach people. I can't promise you anything. I don't even know if they have time to even sit down with you. That's a big takeaway. I want you guys to take that in heart. You take it away from them. I don't even know if they have time to even talk to you. But because they're good friends of mine, they're super busy. I might be able to get them to sit down with you. But if I do manage to set this up for you, you better not miss that appointment, because it'll be the biggest mistake of your life. Takeaway. This is when you're talking to people. This is why you got to do better at the takeaway. Okay. And I promise you're going to get more people interested in what you're doing. You don't want to throw up on people. You don't want to talk about products and services. You want to talk about why you're fired up, why we have the best products in the marketplace, why it's the best thing for the client. And that's why we created GFI. And we don't charge anything for our service. It's complimentary. How great is that? You can get this information and it's all complimentary to you and your family. And all we want to do is help you, put you in a better position financially. So I just want you all to know you do have what it takes, but you've got to start getting out of your comfort zone. You got to start doing things right. We got to recruit more too. Okay, I'll say the same thing. I'll look at that's 4 fingers pointing back at me when I point like that, but we got to recruit more because this is the best opportunity out there. You know, you can sell all day long, but I promise you, when you get a recruit and you're going to go in their market anyway, remember, you recruit them, you show their top 3, one joins the team, you repeat the process. Recruit them, make them a client, show their top 3, one joins the team, repeat the process. That's our business model. Okay. Anyway, I know I went 15 minutes over. Usually I don't have extra time. I'm trying to finish for the next meeting. You guys go have an amazing day. Get on the phone, make some phone calls. Let's make it happen. Love you guys. I love GFI. I love what we do here, and you guys know I'm always here for you if you need me. Okay. You guys have a great day. And what we do at GFI, we go for it. Okay. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.